Hello, 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 Leo. Welcome to your October 2018 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Leo. And while I am pulling these oracle cards, I get asked on a regular basis, how do I know my sun, moon, and rising? And if you want to know your sun, moon, and rising, I'm going to post the name of the website that I like to use because it's not cluttered. I feel like cafe astrology is really, really cluttered, and I don't like the interpretations they give. So Astro Charts is the one that I use if you just want to know the placements. It doesn't offer an interpretation, which I love. So that is the one that I use if you're interested in that. And I also have some very, very, very exciting news. I have a mailbox now, so I'm super stoked to share that with you guys and see what we can make happen with that, just in terms of like playing with pen pal stuff, or if you want to, send me a deck, I can review it. Like, there's all sorts of possibilities with snail mail. So I'll talk more about that at the end. And I have some other housekeeping stuff that I want to keep you guys posted with, and I'll talk about that at the end too. So let's go ahead, dig right into the oracle cards. First thing coming up is clarity. So I think you're getting really, really, really clear about the direction that you're going, your desires, what it is that you want. And remember that clarity is the first step. So this is like where you're really, it's almost like the energy for Leo in October is kind of like waking up after a long nap. Like, you guys may have felt like you were running on autopilot, or like you've been asleep. And it really, because the visual that I'm getting is like when you wake up because it's really bright, and that is kind of like you're opening your eyes, you're really beginning to understand where things are flowing. I have no clue why I'm getting so much information from that card, but it really is just about like finding that aha, like finding that clarity within yourself about what you want. All right, and then the Witchling card is nurture. Nurturing your inner child supplies you with the innocent joy of living. So here's the interesting thing about inner child work. It's very cliche, right? Like the whole inner child thing, but there is something to be said about the information that lives there, lives with your younger self, because that's kind of how you were molded. Childhood experiences are important because it's also going to point to original injuries. Remember that. And so if you're able to nurture that and understand what you may have been lacking at one point in your life and what you're cultivating now as an adult, you can actually find ways to heal it. And it's by identifying it, being able to see what you're missing, what you feel like you're lacking, and giving that to yourself now as an adult, when you may not have been able to get that as a child. Okay, then we also have Phoenix rising from the ashes. Maybe you were burned down. Maybe you felt broken and tattered and split open, and now you are rising. This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to see. This is you building at a ground level, like the demolition, the wipeout happened. It's done, it's over. Like, this is where you are actually, I'm getting that this is like the month that you're reborn. Like, things are completely shifting for Leos. This seems, I would not be surprised if this is the biggest or most intense reading that I have out of all 12. So October is going to be a big month. It is like a whole new world. I think you're really beginning to see like how things are changing, like what potential lives outside of your comfort zone. All of the things that you thought were impossible, all of the things that you were uncertain or unclear or asleep around, are now going to begin revealing themselves and exposing themselves to you. So here we also have shadow. False projections rule the day. Be lovingly inquisitive. Allow the hidden to be revealed. Allow the hidden to be revealed and healed. Let darkness serve to give definition to the light. And that is why, like, I have goosebumps. I can't even tell you, like, this is what I'm saying. all of the things that have been hidden, that have been out of reach, all of the things that have been, it's like all of the rainy days that you've had, all of the destruction and chaos that you have endured over this lifetime is actually paving the way to greater satisfaction, fulfillment, alignment, and clarity within yourself. And it's going to support you in you getting to where you want to go, in achieving the things that you desire. But remember, you can't actually see the light without darkness. That it's a necessary condition. So would it be nice if we didn't have to deal with it? Yes and no. But you also, without true darkness, you cannot experience true light, true joy, true happiness, true fulfillment. Okay, so you're really bouncing back in October. The central energy for Leo is Judgment. So this is like that final nail, that final point that it's like this is the exclamation point on everything you've been working for. And so you're going to feel a real sense of solidification in October. You're going to feel a deep sense of feeling grounded, supported, and absolutely at ease with the direction that you're going, because it seems like all of this work, all the shadow, all of the being broken open, all of the uncertainty has actually brought you to this point where you're now able to see this is what I'm going towards. This is where I'm moving. This is where I'm pouring my energy. And it just seems like you are decided in October. Okay, now we're going to go to what you need to know about this month. And we have 10 of Chalices. Okay, so connection matters. Like, this is something that's, again, accessible and available to you. And it's not just partnership. I know that partnership is being depicted in this card, but it's not just about that. This is career fulfillment, happiness, overall satisfaction. Like, remember that there will always be ebbs and flows in life. And looking at, if your expectation is chronic joy, you are going to be sorely disappointed. But remember that what you need to know about the 10 of Chalices is that this is accessible to you. This is something that is available to you. Cancer had a similar thing coming up where it's like, yes, that's within reach. Like, don't think that just because you're working or something isn't quite right means that you can't have the 10 of Chalices. Like, right now, in this moment, no matter what's going on, it is something that you can find. It's not something that's going to happen one day. It's something that you can experience now. And if you're willing to address that and hold on to it and really own this, then you're going to find that you can have satisfaction right now, even if you're not where you want to be 10 years from now. Advice for you this month is the Ace of Swords. So honor and respect your ideas. I think the intuitive hits and the ideas that you're getting are really going to lead to something bigger, and you may not realize what it is or even have an expectation around it. I'm going to clarify this. 8 of Coins. So this is something where I would, anytime I see this, I'm like, get a pen and paper out. Get a pen and paper out. Get a pen and paper out. Like, that is the energy of the Ace of Swords, because it's that free-flowing idea and inspiration flood that we're able to get from time to time. And you want to take advantage of that by seeing, what do you want to take action on? Like, you might have a whole bunch of ideas, but there might be one that really stands out. You might get hit with a huge wave of inspiration. And that's something that you can really use to your advantage in October. So you're going to have to put in the work, but the inspiration, the initial seed is there. Now what we have is what you're experiencing. So this is more of the external. This is the sun. So I'm going to clarify this. There's a couple things going on with this card, so I think it's going to play out a couple different ways, obviously, because this is a general reading, and we are not identical beings. So let me clarify this really quick. King of Wands. So this actually looks like, again, that energy of bouncing back, feeling more like yourself. Like, I'm back in action. I have things moving again. It looks like there's a little bit of a pick-me-up energetically. So this also could be reflected back to you based on whatever it is that's going on outside. Maybe it's work, maybe it's friends, maybe it's some other exciting thing that you have going on. No matter the case, it just looks like there's a lot of energy that's being infused here that's kind of paving the way for you to rebuild. Okay, and then what's healing Leo this month is the Eight of Wands. Movement, 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 movement. I think that if you felt stuck, if you have felt like you were at a standstill, if you have felt like you really weren't making great headway, or and maybe there was a little bit of stagnation, that's actually the part that's healing for you this month. So I think this is organically happening for you. I don't think this is something where you are really overly productive. I want to make a clear distinction that if you, because I got something for Taurus, it kind of reminds me of that. There's a difference between like the stuff that you need to take action on, right? Like the stuff where you don't want to let water sit for too long, because then it'll stagnate and get gross. And there's also the part where you kind of want to go with the flow. Yours is more about going with the flow. It's less about forcing things and more about allowing. The Eight of Rods or the Eight of Wands is about just, it looks to me like you're kind of moving at the pace that is being set in your environment, and that's going to naturally propel you forward. It's not something where you have to push. You don't have to push, you don't have to scrap, you don't have to fight this month. It's something that is just occurring, and you're kind of caught in the jet stream along with it. So I think you're kind of along for the ride this month, and that is actually, you're going to find that there's a good pick-me-up that happens as a result. There's also the other intuitive hit that I'm getting on this is it is 100% okay for you to not have as much movement as you want to in October. That's okay too. The Eight of Wands is just about doing the damn thing. It's not about having an astronomical expectation attached to it. That's when you get stuck in like forcing things. Like in Leo's, I mean, there is kind of this tendency of wanting instant gratification. That is something, Leos can like crank that up really quick. So you might want to chill out there. Don't worry about instant satisfaction or instant gratification. This is also taking time to build. I just think you're actually given some space to like go with the flow and just run with the pace of your life rather than fighting against the current. And you might find that there's a huge amount of energy, time, and resources that are saved in you being more willing to go with the flow. Hang out with your mutable friends, hang out with Geminis, Sagittarians, Pisces, and Virgos. Like that might actually be really helpful, because it's like hanging out with fixed friends, not gonna do you any good. Like stubborn, rigid people, it might like just, you might get stuck in comparison. So hang out with people who are really fluid in their mindset and expectations, and you want to hang out with people that are gonna model things that you could use at this time. Okay, now what we have shifting out for Leo, death. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like the transformation, the destruction, the whatever you had going on has passed. Like the train has left the station. You are releasing that. Like the transformation has already occurred, and now you are, something has opened up for you. And let's see what the oncoming energy is so I can speak a little bit clearly. Temperance. So this is balance within what you're giving, what you're taking. This is big. This is big. This is like really, really massive healing for you, like especially because you have two majors popping up here. Death is, you know, one of those cards that it's like the bittersweet. It is a bittersweet thing to have show up. Because it's like, you know, you have to burn it down before things can be rebuilt, or before you can do the healing. It's like that's where, again, you are, this is like representative of the shadow as well. There is a good deal of darkness and shadow in this death period that is shifting out. And that is, again, what did she say on here? Let the darkness serve to give definition to the light. That is the phrasing, and that's what's coming up here, is by this experience, you are naturally falling into a more balanced state. So this is actually probably the most transformational month of your year as a Leo. Like that, this has been the most significant reading that I've seen for Leos all year. So this is big. Like, let yourself rest because you're doing big work this month, okay? It's definitely you're gonna find way more balance in the way that you're doing things once, you know, towards the end of October. You might find that you're in a really, really solid headspace. Okay, now first quarter, if you're new to my channel, the way I do this is like the first quarter, first week-ish of October, second, third, and fourth quarter. So this will be where you end up in October. First thing, restlessness. Okay, so like watching the clock. Like, what do you have happening the first week of October that might be a good indication of like something that you're waiting for, or like this is reading as antsiness, like, I just want to go or get this thing done or make this thing happen. There is very much this like scattered frustration that's happening here. So I think it's just like watching the clock, or like wanting things to happen really, really quickly. This is going to shift. Let's see what else happens. Second quarter, Fire Mother. Okay, so this is where things really start to pick up the pace. Honest to God, be careful what you wish for this month. Please be careful with what you're asking for. If you're asking for speed, you might actually be knocked over a little bit by how quickly things move. So it's like this restlessness, don't get swallowed up by antsiness. You want to try to calm this down as best as you can, because this is like where things just really start to pick up speed. And I think whatever you have going on is really going to be moving forward quickly. Third quarter, the one who needs to control. Okay, this is about your emotional state. Like, how are you responding to things? And it's interesting. It's very interesting, because I actually think that during the third quarter, this isn't you. This is a part of you that was existing before this transformation. Before this death card showed up, this was something that you may have been falling into. But during the third quarter, there's kind of this opportunity to do things differently. And you're going to find like, oh, I don't need to be the way I was in the past. The future needs a different version of myself than the past did. Like, the past required past you, and present time you requires present time you. Or present time requires present time you. So I think that this is really a reflection of how much you've grown. And there might be a situation that pops up during this third quarter that really shows you just how much you have changed, even in like a year, how much you've grown and how much you've changed. So this looks more like an opportunity than something you are currently dealing with. Okay, and then wrapping up October, alchemy, creation, you getting the things that you've been planning. It's like you're getting the ball rolling. I think more of the stuff that you're wanting and desiring is starting to really pop up. And the creation piece is important. So you can kind of go back to this idea of what are you chasing? What are you wanting? What are you expanding on? And how are you making that happen? How are you making it grow? Again, where is your energy going? Where are you putting the effort? Where are you putting the work? Where is your attention? That's always something that you want to ask. I say that a lot because it's going to give you really good context clues as to what's going on. And this is, interestingly enough, showing up kind of like the star, like all of your big plans, your big dreams are kind of, you're beginning to see how your action contributes to the manifestation of those dreams. It's not just willy-nilly nonsense. It's something that you're actually getting done for yourself and that you're making happen. Okay, now we're doing a 3-card pick. So you can ask a question, you can ask for guidance, advice. You can pick a card before I flip them over, pick a card after I flip them over, whatever it is that you want. Do whatever works for you. Okay, so card number 1, Father of Cups. This is about emotional mastery. So there's something about October that's going to be reflecting to you either what's working emotionally or what you're still shifting out, what kind of needs to go in your emotional practices. And remember that the things that you ignore, you are going to have reflected to you more. You are going to experience more. You are going to, it's like if you're not getting it, if you're not sticking to what you need to get done, you're going to find that the message just keeps coming back over and over again. So pay attention to any discomfort or anything that's showing up for you emotionally in October. Then we also have the Devil for card number 2. So it's like, notice your vices. What are the things that you move towards that are really not helping? Like, are you self-sabotaging? Is there something that you're trying to set aside? Is there like some destructive behavior that's taking place? Just notice it, notice it, notice it, notice it. Okay? And the best way to deal with this energy is acknowledge it and then actually look at what's the underlying need. You know, it's kind of like if you, I don't know, there's a million examples, but it's just kind of like if you're craving sweets, right? And maybe it's out of character for you, maybe it's totally in character for you, but what's actually going on there? Is it that you want nourishment? Is it that your body needs something else? Is it that you want comfort? Like, what's underneath the need? Like that, or the initial desire? What's underneath that? Okay, and then card number 3, we have the 10 of Cups. Again, making an appearance. This is reminding you, again, you can have this, you can get this. Like, this is something that you don't have to wait for. It's not something that is like you either get to experience the 10 of Cups or you don't. It's something that is always, always, always within reach. And it does take work to get there, but it's an internal job. It's not something that you can achieve through external means. And I don't want anyone to think that it's all about the external with this, because it's an internal state that reveals the 10 of Cups to you. Okay, so that is all that I have for the reading. Now, as far as the housekeeping stuff, a few things that I want to let everyone know is, again, I have the mailbox. The address is in the description box, so you can send me anything from any carrier. It does not matter. It is totally, it's like a physical address. It's not a P.O. box. So the sky's the limit for what you can send. And I don't know what's going to happen with it, or if I don't know maybe nobody will send me anything. Like, that's totally possible. But I do know I've had a few inquiries about sending me tarot decks. If you want me to review it or use it on my channel, you know, if I really like it, I'll use it for readings. But you are welcome to send whatever you'd like, except hate mail and blackmail. You know, don't do that. And yeah, so that's all that's going on with the mailbox. I also want to let you know that I am going to be on vacation from the 5th to the 17th of October. So if you'd like to work with me, it's going to be a better time to get me before I leave, because I typically have like a bottleneck of work when I get back from vacation. You can still submit questions, you can still submit readings, you can still email me. My autoresponder will be on, so you can do all of that when I'm away. But I also want you to know that my tarot spreads, my email recording tarot spreads, are going to get a small price adjustment. So they are going up by $5 as of November 1st. And so I am offering 2019 overview readings for purchase now. That's an option on my website now. It's just under the time frame. So whatever spread you want, you can just select 2019 and I can do it for a full year reading from January to December of 2019. If you want to get that now before the holiday season gets crazy, because we're coming up on my busy season. So you are welcome to take advantage of having the current prices, and if you wait, that's cool too, because it's just a minor, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing radical. So just think about that. If you want to work with me, it would be good to do that before October 5th, and then prices go up November 1st. My one-on-one sessions are staying the same, and single questions are staying the same for now. But I just thought that I would give you guys an update with that. Okay, so that is all that I have for you today, Leo. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and hanging out with me. Thank you for letting me read for you. It is such an honor. I love being able to do this for you guys. So don't forget, follow me on Facebook and Instagram if you don't already. And until next time, have a lovely October. Later. Bye.